Alright, welcome to Steve's Vintage Model Builds, and I'm going to start with an apology. I had actually, I posted this video, I think it was Boxing Day, or for Boxing Day. It was private, and then I made it public without really thinking about it. And then when I went back and looked at it, there was a reason I had kept it private. It was because I had meant to redo it. So, here we are redoing it. There was, to those who did tune in, there were only a few people who viewed it. Thanks, and again, I apologize. It wasn't up to my usual standard, and both the people who watch and the kit deserve better than what came out of that. So, excuse me. So here I am again with the Revell 176 scale, Char B.1 bis, and Renault FT.17 tanks. And this is actually a diorama kit, which we'll get into more in a bit. And it was originally, the molds are Matchbox originals. When Matchbox went out of business, or was on before going out of business, they did have some partnerships with Revell, and upon going out of business, Revell got quite a few of their molds. So this was one of them, and that's another tip to know, is if you see a Revell 176, especially if it's a diorama kit, then that's a Matchbox kit. Same molds, same flawless molds, and same great detail as you always get with Matchbox. So yeah, so here we go. So packaging, the external packaging, it was wrapped in a heavy cardboard sleeve and then put in one of those puffy brown paper Amazon bags. So it was shipped fine. It arrived in perfect condition. Everything's great. So full marks on that for the packaging. It's Revell level 4, which is 96 parts. I think level 4 goes up to 120 parts, and then over 120 parts is level 5. Although sometimes the level is the frustration you get out of a Revell kit, but that's not the case here. So it's catalog number 03278. And copyright is 2019. And yes, it is the diorama kit. We have shows the diorama on the back here, detail of the completed models, pictures of the sprues in box. This is nice. Others do it, but Revell does put the paints that you're going to need on the outside, so you know if you're going to need to pick anything up. And of course, they show a picture of their all the different products that they have. I got with the Titanic kit. I got this Revell. I saw Matt at Model Minutes using it, and he said it's great for some things. So I'm going to give it a try. We'll see. There's a QR code for whatever QR codes are for. It says decal model kits for advanced model builders, suitable 12 to adult. Probably somebody between 10 and 12 will be able to do this, especially with supervision. And so on the side here it reads, a model construction kit consisting of the most famous French tanks of World War II, the Char B.1 bis, and the Renault FT.17. Diorama base with a ruined house, rotatable turret. I believe that would be on on both, yeah. Flexible soft plastic tracks and quote-unquote authentic decal set. So, okay. So there's a lot of 176 out there still. Airfix still does quite a bit, especially in their vintage classic series. Bit of tea. Okay, there's a little blister in here, but everything's been packed so well. It was just into the sprue post. Everything looks great. I had already opened this. And, ooh. The tracks look somewhat dubious. They're not as good. Yeah, they're kind of simplistic. They look kind of simplistic. They feel okay. Oh yeah, those are okay. Yeah, on first glance for the Renault, it had a different type of track. That's why tracks are supposed to look like that. Okay, I guess being a lighter tank, it didn't need the heavier tracks. Okay, good. Learn something new every day. Okay, so here we go with some history. Everybody's favorite part. Everybody get down in your seats and get out your notes and pencils. No, paper and pencils. And we'll start with the Char B.1 BIS, which was a specialized breakthrough vehicle, originally conceived as a self-propelled gun with a 75mm howitzer in the hull. Later, a 47mm gun and a turret was added to allow it to function also as a Char de bataille, a battle tank in French, fighting directly against enemy armor, equipping the armored divisions of the infantry arm. So this is the Char, and here's the howitzer, and then there's the 47mm. Starting in the early 20s, its development and production were repeatedly delayed, resulting in a vehicle that was both technologically complex and expensive. And it was pretty well obsolescent. It was already obsolete when the real mass production of a derived version, the B.1 BIS, started in the late 30s. So this is the second iteration. Yeah. So a further armored up version, the Char B.1 Tur, was only built in 2 prototypes. So it was an interwar tank, and but it was fairly formidable for its time. Among the most powerfully armored and armored tanks of the day, the type was very effective in direct confrontations with German armor in 1940 during the Battle of France. But low speed and high fuel consumption made it ill-adapted to the war movement being fought. After the defeat of France, a captured Char B.1 BIS would be used by Germany, with some rebuilt as flamethrowers, munitions panzers, or mechanized artillery. So just like Ukraine does with Russian stuff that they capture, they redeploy it for their own purposes. So like a lot of stuff from the interwar period, by the time the war actually came around, its flaws were obvious. But it did play a part and did perform well. There are many other reasons the French lost the Battle of France. So moving on, this one people are probably much more familiar with from newsreels and contemporary films and so on and so forth. And it's the Renault FT, frequently referred to in post-World War I literature as the FT.17. It was a French light tank This was a medium to heavy tank, main battle tank, as I indicated. And if you look at it, it's quite unique, and it was quite revolutionary for its time. And it was the first production tank to have its armament within a fully rotating turret. So before that, turrets were open if they were rotating. Otherwise, the crew was enclosed in inside the hull of the tank. The Renault's configuration: crew compartment at the front, engine compartment at the back, and main armament in a revolving turret, became and remains the standard tank layout. Consequently, some armored warfare historians have called the Renault FT the world's first modern tank. Over 3,000 Renault FT tanks were manufactured by French industry, most of them in 1918. After World War I, FT tanks were exported in large numbers. Copies and derivative designs were manufactured in the United States, the M.1917 light tank, in Italy, the Fiat 3000, and in the Soviet Union as the T-18 tank. The Renault FT saw combat during the interwar conflicts around the world, but was considered obsolete at the outbreak of World War II. They were, however, for the interwar period, and although they didn't see combat in the First World War, they were developed too late. They were very quick. They were very fast, much like the maybe better known British Whippet tanks, of which I believe they were based on these. And they could very quickly traverse uneven ground, ground where there were lots of mounds and ditches and that kind of thing. And so yeah, it was a good machine. Again, interwar period. By the time the Second World War came around, most of this stuff was obsolete. Okay, so we'll take a look at the pieces that we get here. It's all gray except for the tracks there; they're black. Again, in if you just wanted to slap this together and put it on the shelf, or take it for wargaming, whatever you do, it wouldn't really need any paint. Although the detail is so nice, it would be nicely painted, and I'm going to do that. Not right away, but Peter Oxley gets upset if I build a Matchbox kit, even if it's a legacy one like this, because then, well, he gets upset because then there's fewer Matchbox kits in the world that he can build. So, I love Matchbox, but he's a fanatic, my goodness. Hi, Peter. Okay, so yeah, there's beautiful detail here, especially for 176. We've got lots of rivets, vents and louvers. Yeah, so very nice. No flash. Absolutely pristine. Oh, yeah, and I guess this is the base and the sides of the Char, and then this is for the Renault here. A little hood for the Renault. Yeah, okay. And then we have the molded suspension and sides here. I guess, yeah, these go in here. They fit together somehow. And that's what instructions are for. Again, no bent or broken parts. Not seeing any flash whatsoever. Nice detail. And once again, flawless. There we go. We've got the final sprue. We get 4 figures here. Looks like one that can sit in one of the tanks. I expect it's the Char. Soldier standing guard here. One kind of walk, 2 kind of walking. So like 1 stationary guard and 2 back and forth guards, whatever. And we have the diorama. Here's the base of the diorama. It's got tracks pre-molded in, loose bricks. There's even some horse prints here going down the middle. Likewise here, more bricks. And then we have 2 sides of the ruined wall. Shutter broken off here, 1 half blown away. Bricks, plaster, or maybe it's mortar. And then there's a door, big heavy door. That's not a very good picture there, but can you see it? There's the big heavy door. And that's some 172 figures. These are my first 176s. The uniforms look great. The faces, not so great. They look like they're wearing Halloween masks. Except for the tank commander. He's got a big French Gallic nose. Sorry, French people. Anyways, okay, so here we go. I know you're proud of your noses. Yeah, we love your noses. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. That's it for the parts. Oh, and I should mention this kit cost about $35. With it was either with free shipping or that included the shipping. And normally for a 176 kit, that would pretty much be my limit. I might go to $40 for something exceptional, but yeah, I mean, as we get into this, you'll see why I jumped on it. Not only because it's original Matchbox molds. Okay, so let me see. I usually tuck the decals in there. Now, where are you? Well, sorry about that. I suppose they'll turn up at some point. There's not much here anyways, but it's nice to have them. Okay, so we've got the new Revell style instructions, which are, I actually haven't built a kit from yet, but they look great. Nice, glossy, big booklet type. There's a nice picture of the diorama. There you go. When it's done. So. Okay. Okay, as always with Revell, we've got pictorial descriptions of how to do things. Always read the instructions first. It's telling you to be very careful here. Make sure you're cutting off the right part or identifying the right part. Sometimes there's more than one part the same number. Other times it's just numerically sequential. And also, you know, there'll be different sprues like 1, 2, 3, 4, or usually A, B, C, D. So, you know, it's possible they might have like A number 22 and then C number 22. So, there you go. And, you know, pictograph of things that'll be useful, things that you'll need. You need cement, nippers, hobby knife, tweezers, paintbrush and scissors. Yeah, on that. At least not to assemble the kit. Again, as I always do, they advise you to soak the parts in warm water with soap, just regular dish soap, and warm water, not too hot. And then give them a good rinse with the sprayer in the sink if that's what you've got. And then you just dry them. I dry them overnight on paper towel, but you know you can hand dry them. I think the plastic feels better if I do the wash, the rinse, and then let it dry overnight. But I mean, that's just me, I guess. Anyways, yeah. So then it shows you all the different things: how to cut, how to test fit, how to cement, when to mix paint color, all that kind of stuff. Da da da. And then they've got the glossary of symbols: glue, don't glue, paint, do this twice or 3 times, whatever. Again, multiple languages. They give you all of the paints necessary. These are Revell coated paints, but they also tell you, you know, what the actual color is. So number 67A is you just have to go down and find the English. Greenish gray matte. So if you don't have Revell's 67A, greenish gray matte would probably be like German green. But it's German green's a little more blue than, like, yeah, anyways. So, but yeah, so yeah, you can figure that out for yourself. And you could probably get away without all of those paints. So, okay, and then we turn the page and we get a nice sprue map. All the parts by number. Then we start with the turret assembly. This is the BIS. Suspension and wheels. What to do with the tracks. Now it says don't glue, but it might need a hot knife or screwdriver or some super glue. Number 10, I'm not sure why they're getting us to do that. It looks like it's supposed to go there. And they're asking you to do pull the hot sprue thing, cut it off. So I'm not sure about that. It's guess it's for the antenna. Although on the box, the antenna's at the back. But anyways, we'll see. We'll figure it out. Okay. All right, and then, you know, we've got the various different gun emplacement assemblies. Step 14 gives you the how to assemble the diorama pieces. And actually, I'm thinking I'm going to do the diorama, but I'm only going to put one of, I think I'm only going to put the Char on it. And then I'm going to use the Renault for something else. Excuse me. Then it gives you the paint scheme for the figures, and where to place the figures, although I suppose you could place them anywhere. Well, those aren't horses' hoof prints; they're boot prints. So they might fit into little areas here, but I'm sure you could get them to fit on anywhere you want. Okay, and then we move to step 15, just one step for all that, and we get into the Renault. And yeah, this looks, yeah, for sure that's for the Char bis. Or maybe not. Yes, that's for the Char bis. Kind of jump around a little bit there. Might just be me though. No, we are jumping around a little bit here. So, okay, yeah, so then we get the turret, the chassis assembly, details, exhaust. And then we've got the turret ring and assembly. I guess this is for the... I don't know. Yeah, this is for the Char bis as well, still. Okay. And here we go. And that's the end of it. 30 steps. I don't know, I must have got mixed up somewhere which tank was which. Oh yeah, that's the Renault. Okay. And then here we start to get into the Char bis. Okay, alright. Okay, and then we move to the painting. This is France 1940. France in May 1940. Captured and redeployed 1943-44 in France. And North France in 1940. So all the different paint schemes. Yeah, I think you'd need all the paints if you're going to do this paint scheme. But obviously, you know, you only need 3 or 4 if you're doing this one, and only a couple if you're doing this one. And likewise here on the Char bis, or on the Renault. North France 1940, German Luftwaffe, interesting. I guess maybe they were using those to defend the bases. No, I guess 1940 to 43. And also used by the Germans against partisans in the Balkans, 1943-44. Nice big blank page at the back so you can make your notes. It really bugs me about the decals. Anyways, okay, so Okay, put up a card for the criteria I use for rating a kit. To go through it very quickly: 2 points for packaging, 2 points for sprues, 3 points for parts, 3 points for instructions, and that's a total of 10 standard points. Excuse me. Each of those 4 categories has a potential quarter point bonus for any wow factor. And there's also up to 1 full point for value. And when I look at value, I look at not just the cost of the kit, but how many hours of enjoyment I can expect to get out of it. Okay, so packaging, everything was great, no problems there, so that's full 2 points. Likewise with the sprues, everything was fine there. Parts, 3 full points. Quality of the plastic was good, detail was great. There weren't any warped or broken parts. I couldn't find the decals, but I've opened this up a couple of times, so I'm sure they're lying around someplace. If not, I'll have to bump off a quarter point. But as it stands now, I'm pretty sure they're around someplace. And then half a point for value. And full marks for the, it was 2.75 on the instructions, because they kind of bounce back and forth there a bit. Probably be fine after you review them and know where you're going, but at first glance they were a little confusing. So quarter point deduction there, but a quarter point bonus for the figures. For the full gloss booklet. Parts got a quarter point bonus for the figures. And half point bonus for value. Like I said, $35. As I've heard many others say, it's a cracking, great, good little kit. And well worth the investment if you see it. So, yeah. So that brings us to a total of 11 points, I believe. Yes. 11 points out of 12, which is excellent. So, it's going to be a fun little kit, and I'm looking forward to getting it built. The other thing too is, you don't have to do it all at once, right? You can do one tank and then do the other tank, and then do the diorama. And, yeah, go wild. Okay, so that's it for today. And again, subscriberships are really going up. Last I checked, I was at 245. So thanks for everybody putting my name out there, and thanks for everybody who watches and subscribes. I appreciate everybody's time. And so we've got some great stuff coming up. Teaser for the New Year's Day. That'll be a premiere with live chat at 11 a.m. Pacific time in Canada, and that'll be 7 p.m. GMT over in the UK. And so I hope everybody can drop in for that. And also, I've got another teaser coming soon. Is going to be a couple of real treats and a little departure from the norm, but I think everybody will have fun with them. So thanks for watching. Thanks for everyone for all your comments, support, good wishes, and additional information. And if I don't see you or you don't see me before New Year's, have a very happy New Year. Stay safe and play safe. See you next time.